Guys, happy Easter Monday to you all. In today's video, I want us to talk about Inaki Williams. He's back from injury and played a game for Athletic Club against Real Madrid. They lost that game by 1-0, but then it's positive news for Athletic Club, and I'm going to tell you the reasons behind that. You're also going to talk about Real Madrid's warning to Barcelona. It's a very serious one. Now, we're also going to talk about Leicester City, who have been relegated out of the EPL, and what does this mean for these two players, Jordan Ayew and also fatawu issahaku. We're also going to talk about Antoine Semenyo and the interest he's getting from Manchester United. But then Manchester United have two approaches in signing the player, and I'm going to tell you all about this. But before we jump into it, don't forget to like, subscribe, and also turn on notification. My name is Adam. You are watching SportsCornerGH. Quickly, let's jump into it and begin with Inaki Williams. Now, Inaki Williams played a game for Athletic Club against Rayo Vallecano. They won that game, but then Inaki Williams got injured. After medical assessment, we were told that Inaki Williams had a muscle strain. That means that the muscles were tired, and because of that, he was sidelined for Athletic Club's subsequent games. Now, those games, he was part of the match squad, but then he did not play. For example, against Rangers in the Europa League, the second leg, he was part of the match squad, but then he did not play. But then yesterday, Athletic Club played against Real Madrid, a very big game for them. And then Inaki Williams made a cameo in that game. He played 28 minutes and he was introduced in the game in the 62nd minute. Now, in that game, he was rated 6.7 by SofaScore. He did not play bad at all. Even though they lost that game by 1-0, it is positive news for Athletic Club. Looking at the next opponent they are going to face in the semi-finals of the Europa League, Manchester United. Now, you might be wondering why Athletic Club are so interested in winning the Europa League. It's very simple. It's because the Europa League final would be played on home turf of Athletic Club. They want to host the final and win it. And the only way they can do that is to make sure that they have their key players to do that, and also make sure that they are fully prepared for Manchester United, who have not lost a game in the Europa League this season. So you get why, even though they lost the game against Real Madrid, but then they are still positive because Inaki Williams is back. This is a player that helped Athletic Club win the Copa del Rey last season. Now let's move away from Athletic Club and talk about Real Madrid. Now, Real Madrid won that game in the 9 minutes. They won against Athletic Club 1-0. Now, that goal was scored by Valverde, and you can see the goal on your screen. Excellent goal by all standard. Now, after that game, it saved Don Carlos' coaching job at Real Madrid, because at a point, he was about to be sacked, and that game saved his job. But then it also gave Real Madrid a new target for the end of the season. Now, this is a club that a few days ago were laughed at. The whole world was laughing at Real Madrid because they were not able to do the remontada against Arsenal. Arsenal beat Real Madrid home and away. Now, Real Madrid have a new target in the Spanish La Liga and also in the Copa del Rey. Their target is to prevent Barcelona from winning the treble. Now, Barcelona can win the UCL, can win the Copa del Rey, and can also win the Spanish La Liga. Now, if you take a look at the Spanish La Liga table, Barcelona out of 32 games have 73 points. Real Madrid out of 32 games have 69 points. The points difference between these two clubs is 4 points. So at this point, Real Madrid have belief that they can do everything possible to make it difficult for Barcelona to win. So yesterday's win was a very positive one for Real Madrid. And I'm not going to lie, I admire Real Madrid's mentality. This is a club that were eliminated for anything. You might be thinking that it would affect them going into the Spanish La Liga, but then they have different mentality playing even in the Spanish La Liga. They were poised to make a point. And this win actually saved Don Carlos' coaching job at Real Madrid, because we hear rumors that Jurgen Klopp is being tipped to replace Don Carlos if anything is to go wrong, especially in the Copa del Rey final. So guys, that is it with what is happening in Spain. Now let's move away from Spain and come to England. Let's talk about Leicester City, who have been relegated out of the English Premier League after losing to Liverpool by 1-0 yesterday. Now, this is very sad because we have two Ghanaian players in there with Leicester City, Jordan Ayew and also fatawu issahaku. And what does this mean for them? Now, Leicester City are having the record in the English Premier League for being relegated the most, 13 times, which is very bad. In fact, in the last 3 years, they have been relegated twice, which is quite bad, which is quite fascinating and worrying. But then, if you were fatawu issahaku or if you were Jordan Ayew, what would you do? Would you play the championship with Leicester City hoping to come back again, or would you sign for another club? Because at this point, it is between making any of those decisions. Now, let's talk about Jordan Ayew. Jordan Ayew has experience playing in the EPL. He has played 10 years in the EPL. He's no joke. He has experience. If you want to talk about Ghanaians with pedigree in the EPL, it's Jordan Ayew. So it was so sad for me to see my captain with this Leicester City team, and Ruud van Nistelrooy was not giving him game time. After what he did in the international break, giving assists, three assists, it was no joke. And for him to return back to Leicester City and still was not playing, it pained me a lot. Now that they have been relegated, I'm wondering what is going through the minds of Jordan Ayew. Now, let me take you through Jordan Ayew's statistics so far with Leicester City in the EPL. He has played 24 games across all competition and has scored 4 goals. His contract runs until 2026, and he was signed for 5.9 million euros from Crystal Palace. If you were Jordan Ayew, what would you do? Would you go and play championship with Leicester City, or you go to another club and still maintain your status in the EPL? Let me know your answer down below in the comments. Now let's talk about fatawu issahaku. With fatawu issahaku, his is a very sad one. He did his possible best to help Leicester City get promoted from the championship to the EPL, only for him to play 11 games for Leicester City in the EPL. We did not see what he could give. We did not see the potential he had on a bigger stage like the EPL. He picked up an ACL injury playing for the national team Ghana. And up to now, the number of games he has played and the assist and everything is not encouraging for even another team to say that fatawu issahaku, I want you if you recover from injury. Now, let's talk about the injury a bit. According to reports, he will return on August 2025. So that is very positive on the part of fatawu issahaku. But when it comes to his numbers this season with Leicester City in the English Premier League, it is very sad. 11 appearances, 2 assists, and he has not played a single game under Ruud van Nistelrooy, which is quite worrying in my own opinion. So if you were fatawu issahaku, what would you do? Would you stay with Leicester City and play the championship, or you move to another club and try your luck there? And you see, what I hear from, fatawu issahaku is that he has sent a message to Leicester City fans saying that the only ones who will stay with you in times like this are the real ones. And if they were able to do it before, they can do it again. That is giving me an idea that fatawu issahaku is not going anywhere. He still wants to get it done with Leicester City again. So with him, I believe he's going to stay. But with Jordan Ayew, is he going to stay? There's a very big question mark there. But then, these 2 players are not the only ones relegated from the EPL. Kamaldeen Sulemana with Southampton have already been relegated from the EPL. So as I'm speaking to you now, 3 Ghanaian players have been relegated from the EPL, which is quite sad, in my own opinion. But then, guys, once again, if you were these 3 players, what would you do? Stay in the championship with your current club and fight for a chance to get promoted back again, or try your luck somewhere else? What would you do? Let me know your answer down below in the comments. Now, let's move away from that and talk about Antoine Semenyo. See, this season, Semenyo is doing wonders. In the EPL, he has 8 goals. In fact, he has matched last season's record. Not only that, across all competitions, he has 10 goals, double figures, and he has 6 assists. Hey, I was about to say 4. 6 assists out of 36 games across all competition. So 10 goals, 6 assists out of 36 games for Bournemouth. See, Semenyo has done well for himself this season. And I get why clubs like Liverpool, Tottenham, Manchester United, Chelsea, you can name them, are all interested in Semenyo. But currently, the front runners to signing Semenyo are Manchester United. And this is coming from a lot of big-name journalists in the world. They say Ruben Amorim is interested in signing Semenyo at all costs. But now, there is 2 different approaches they want to use in signing the player. Currently, Bournemouth value Semenyo at 70 million euros, and for me, I think it's too much. He's been overpriced. But Semenyo, I'm not going to lie. If you want to talk realistically, he's 45-50 million player. But because the transfer market has been, inflated a lot, Semenyo is being valued at 70 million. And I'm not going to lie, it could even increase to 75 million euros looking at how he ends the season. Now, Manchester United's 2 approach in signing Semenyo are 1, player plus cash. Now, the player they want to use are very different. Now, the first player could be Sancho. because Sancho does not want to return to Manchester United anymore after his loan at Chelsea. So he could be a player who could be used in that loan deal. 2 is Harry Amas, the young boy from the academy. He's a very young prospect, and I'm sure Bournemouth would be interested in a player like that. And 3, Tyrell Malacia, currently with PSV. Oh, yeah, he's not doing well. Currently, he will come back to the club. And the club also wants to, offload him. So he will be included in the, transfer contract and also transfer negotiations in case Manchester United wants to sign Semenyo with player plus cash. So these are 3 players: Sancho, Harry Amas, and Tyrell Malacia. These 3 players could be very important to convince Bournemouth to give Semenyo to Manchester United in a player plus cash, negotiation. Now, the second approach is fixed amount plus add-ons. Now, the fixed amount would be 30 million euros. Manchester United, they think they're smart. 30 million euros, and the rest of the money, the huge chunk of the money, would be in add-ons. Add-ons could be the number of games played. Also, targets such as Manchester United qualifying for the UCL of an European sport. Also, targets like scoring certain specific number of goals in a game. So these add-ons could be huge. So the fixed amount would be very small. It could be 30, 35, 40 million, but then chunk of the money would go into add-ons. So fixed plus add-ons, fixed amount plus add-ons. So these are the 2 approaches for Bournemouth, for Manchester United. This is what Manchester United wants to do. Either player plus cash or fixed amount plus chunk of the money in add-ons to sign Semenyo. I mean, at this moment, I've heard a lot of people talk about whether Semenyo should go to Manchester United or not. Others are saying that Manchester United, looking at what is going on right now, it is not the right time to go to Manchester United. He should go to a club like Liverpool. I've heard the stories. See, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm a Manchester United fan. It would be lovely to see Semenyo there. It would be an upgrade for him. If you think Manchester United are not going to do anything, last season should just give you something that we won the FA Cup. If not anything, we win trophies at the end of the season. And as I'm speaking to you now, we are vying for one more trophy, which is the Europa League. If Manchester United are able to win the Europa League, it gives them a straight ticket to play the UCL. So you get where my conversation is going. It could be good, it could be bad for Semenyo. All depends on the player's decision. But guys, this is the update I have for you. Let me know your thoughts about it down below in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and also turn on notification. My name is Adam. You're watching SportsCornerGH. I'll make sure to see you in the next one. Charlie, we provide.